Hey, today I'm going to talk to y'all a little bit about modern day slavery. When I was about 18 years old, I got my very first credit cards. 18. And you know what I did with that? I maxed them out immediately. I got like 2 or 3 of them, and I maxed all of them out, buying the stupidest shit you could buy. I can't even tell you what I bought. I don't remember. And I don't know, it's just funny, when you're 18 years old, you can't even go into a store and buy a beer and drink a beer with your friends. But yet they'll give you a credit card with, a big limit. And then you go out and spend a bunch of money on stupid shit and end up owing money for years and years and years, and possibly ruining your life by having so much debt, especially at such a young age. And I did that. I went out and bought a bunch of bullshit, maxed out my credit cards, cut them all up, couldn't afford to pay the bills, and eventually I filed bankruptcy. And I was really young still, because there was no way I was going to be able to pay that off. And I knew that there was no way I was going to be spending years trying to pay that money. And so I just called it quits and filed bankruptcy. But now, nowadays, I'm much smarter. I'm 44 years old. My credit score is like 825. And I have zero debt. No mortgage, no car loan, no car note, no credit card debt. I have zero debt. I owe nobody nothing. And that's how you escape the modern day slavery, right? Like, the way I think about it is, right now, especially now, they just passed these 50-year mortgage thing too. Like, it's really, when you owe somebody money, right, that means you're using money that you don't have. Right? So it's very simple. So in order to get that money, it requires your own time and energy in the future, not yesterday's, because you used all that money. You have to go to work. According to these new mortgages, 50-year mortgages, you're going to be working for the next 50 years to make enough money to pay off that mortgage. And that's time and energy in the future that you have to use to make that money. Essentially meaning whoever you owe that money to, they own you. They absolutely own you, because if you don't pay them, guess what? They'll take your house. They'll take your car. So you're a slave. And the best way to avoid that is to be debt-free, to owe zero money to anybody. And that's why I don't have a mortgage. That's why I don't have a car note. That's why I have zero credit card debt. It's because I don't want to be enslaved. I don't want somebody to own me, because I just want freedom, right? I don't want to have to worry about, in the future, am I going to be able to go make that money, right? We don't know what the future holds. Something might happen and we can't go to work. You can't earn that money. And now the car or the house that you owe money on, you can't pay it. And then now what do you do? But so for me, myself, I will only buy something that I have cash to pay for. If I can't pay cash for it, I don't care if it's the house or whatever. If I can't afford to pay cash for it, I don't want it. And that's how I avoid the modern day slavery. I mean, it's crazy. Think about it. They just now, because before, back in the day, people were buying houses in their 20s, their early 20s. And nowadays, the average home buyer is 40 years old. So imagine you're going to buy a house now around my age. I'm 44, almost 44. I'll be 44 in a couple of days. But you're my age, you buy a house, and because everything's so damn expensive now, you got to take out a 50-year mortgage, right? So you're going to be paying for the house until you're dead. That's crazy, right? Like, the average lifespan of men, especially American men, is about 73 or 76 years old. So, I mean, you buy a house when you're 44 or 40, 30 years is already 70 years old, right? I mean, are you going to buy a house when you're 40 and live until you're 90 to pay for it? According to the statistics, probably not. You're probably going to live to 75, 76, maybe 80 if you're lucky, and you'll still be paying money for the house. It's just crazy. You'll be in debt to the system for your entire life. And that's what they want. They want you to be trapped. They want to own you, and that's how they own you, is through debt. I mean, even my own parents, like my dad's in his 70s, my mom's almost in her 70s. They both have mortgages, they both have car notes they got to pay, and they're like 70, in their 70s, right? It's crazy. And I refuse to be that person. I don't need, to have a brand new car. Actually, I have a car that's quite nice, and I'm actually going to sell it probably on Friday. I'm taking it to a car lot on Friday. A friend of mine, he's going to try to sell it for me, just because I don't even want a car anymore. I don't want to be tied to the system, but even having to pay insurance payments, right? That keeps me tied into the loop, and I can avoid all that stuff. I can avoid all those expenses. No insurance, no car maintenance, no gasoline charges, none of that stuff, just by getting rid of my car. Right, I have this right there behind me, an electric bike that can go 65. And I can go 90 kilometers on one charge, and it costs me about 2 RMB, or like, I don't know, less than 50 cents to charge the battery to go for a whole week. So, like, I don't need a car, and I don't want to be tied to the system by having, have a car registered, and taxes and maintenance and insurance and all this other stuff that keeps me enslaved, keeps me in their system. And, one of the things about living abroad, like, you can literally, here in China, in Philippines, in Thailand, all these places, you can buy a condo, you can buy a house for less than $50,000, right? I mean, just buy one and owe nobody nothing. It belongs to you. And now nobody holds you, like, you don't have to be a slave to nobody. You don't have to use your future energy to pay for the house, or to pay for a car, pay for none of this other stuff, because nobody owns you. You don't owe anybody anything. So if you just decide, I don't want to do nothing, you ain't got to do nothing, because you don't owe anybody, and you have a roof over your head. And this is just how I approach, or how I think about things today, and avoiding the modern day slave trap. My parents always told me, like, we're not a rich family, or not a rich people, and you gotta have credit if you want to have anything in life, and this and that. And that's not true, because I don't use credit, I don't use debt, and I'm 43 years old, and I'm free. Like, I don't have to work again if I don't want to. I mean, I have enough passive income, because I'm not trying to like brag or nothing, but I'm just saying, because instead of being in debt and owing my energy and my work to pay this debt off, I don't owe anybody. So all the money that I earn is mine to do with what I want to do with it. And what I do with that money is invest it and save it, right? I invest in the stock market, I invest in some cryptocurrencies, I put money in like money market mutual funds and high yield savings accounts, and I save that money and keep that money so I can use that money to, if I, like, when I come across a house that I want to buy, I'll just pay cash for it. And I don't have to worry about anything anymore. But right now, I mean, I don't have a house, I just pay rent, but I literally pay $200 per month for my rent for a brand new apartment. I mean, you do the math on that. What's that? $2,400 per year is what I spend to keep a roof over my head. And so until I find a house that's cheap enough that makes sense to buy, then I will buy it. But until then, like, why would I not just pay $2,000 a year to keep a roof over my head, right? Because I have that passive income. I make more than that in 1 month from passive income, just from investments. So 1 month will pay for, actually 1 month of my income will pay for 2 years worth of rent from passive income alone, not counting business income or other streams of income. So why would I not do that? Why would I go in debt and have to worry about paying for this stuff? It just, I don't know. I'm just trying to say, it's just dangerous, in my opinion. Having debt, owing people, it's very dangerous. And I feel it's very predatory. Like, you're gonna go out and give an 18-year-old kid a bunch of credit cards, like give them access to like $30,000 worth of credit or something like that when they're a kid and they're probably making minimum wage. They give you student loans for thousands and like hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt with student loans. I know people who are in their 50s and they're still paying off student loan debt from when they were in university, when they were younger, because the amount of money they had to pay is just crazy. Like, I know it's just not a recipe for success, in my opinion. So anyway, I don't know. I just want to get that off my mind and share my thoughts about that with you guys, about being debt-free and avoiding the shackles of today's slavery. And we just do that through, my opinion, is through minimalism, not buying a bunch of shit you don't need and avoiding debt. And if you're in debt, you can get out of it. And I would try to get out of it as fast as possible and then never use it again. That's what I did, basically. I cut up all my credit cards and all that shit. I filed bankruptcy many, many years ago. And then I rebuilt my credit. My credit's like 825 now. Now, I do have a few credit cards, but I don't use them. I owe zero money on them, but they're nice to have for an emergency. If something happens, say a major medical emergency happens, and that stuff's expensive, how are you going to pay for it? I can possibly use that to save my own life one day if I do have some type of emergency like that. And that's why I like to have a good credit score, but I don't use the debt unless it's absolutely 100% necessary. If you're somebody has a poor credit score, I can tell you what I did to rebuild my credit. It was really simple. I just had like one credit card, and I would just buy something stupid just to buy something on it. Like I might use it to pay for my gas for my car or something like that, or pay for some groceries. But I would, it's like $50 or $100, and then just use it one time that 1 month, and then as soon as the bill comes, pay it off 100%. Just send the $50 or the $100, pay the thing off, and then wait a couple months, do it again. And then once I did that, my credit score started to build up. Then I opened a second credit card, and I did the exact same process. Spend $50 here, $100 there, pay it off as soon as the bill comes. And then I rinse and repeat again with the third card. And so, I had 3 cards that showed my credit history is good. And just like once every 3 or 4 months, I might use one for $100 or something, just use it, and then pay it off immediately. And that helped build my credit score up. And like I said, now my credit score is like 825. It fluctuates like 825, 830, 815. It just like goes up and down. But I owe zero money. And that's how I avoided the shackles of modern day slavery, and how I built my credit in order to have, in case of emergency, in case you really do need access to money, it's always smart to have access to it. So anyway, that's my take on that. Appreciate you spending time with me, and I'll see you guys next time.